Stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
أهلا ومرحبا بكم في برنامج سانداون على آي راديو. في البرنامج ده بنستضيف شخصيات بارزة ومؤثرة من جنوب السودان ومن حول العالم، وبنتحدث معاهم عن القضايا اللي بتهم بلدنا وبتأثر على حياتنا. كمان بنتطرق في القصص خلف الأخبار وبنتبادل الأحاديث الخفيفة عن حياتنا اليومية. شاركونا، كونوا جزء من البرنامج فقط على آي راديو، عينك على جنوب السودان.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James, together with Obacho Kushagawa, the producer of Sundown Show, and Darlington Moses behind the social media coverage. Today is Friday, 27th of February 2026. This program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-022-986 or send for us a text message on 0913-986-986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X to YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to our website at iRadio.org. Tonight, we begin our weekly radio series to raise public awareness about the integration of community-based networks into the Boma Health Initiative. This session aims to inform communities, local leaders, and stakeholders about the purpose, benefits, and how this integration will be implemented across South Sudan. Remember, South Sudan faces big challenges in delivering health services, specifically in rural areas and conflict-affected areas. Many people have limited access to clinic, and there is also severe shortage of trained health workers. Community-based networks like Boma Health Workers, Community Nutrition Volunteers, Integrated Community Mobilization Network, mobilizers, peer support groups, and other volunteers play a key role in connecting communities with health services. To address this fragmentation and improve efficiency, the Ministry of Health, with support from UNICEF and partners, develop a strategy to integrate this network into the Boma Health Initiative. But what is their goal? Well, with us in the studio is Okelo David Omony, a social and behavior change consultant, providing technical support to the Ministry of Health. Good to have you, Mr. Okelo, to the studios of iRadio, and particularly the Sundown Show.
Yes, thank you for welcoming me to this studio for the first time.
All right, we have two important, keywords right here. There's integration of community-based network, and there's a Boma Health Initiative. Break it down to that our listeners who are not maybe medics or but have interest to know these two important words. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Let me start with giving you a brief background to the Boma Health Initiative. Before the liberation struggle, we have been having different community workers in South Sudan. One of them is the home health promoters. We have the community nutrition volunteers. We have the community-based drug distributors, which are providing services for entities, and many more. So these different community health workers came in to fill the gap in service delivery. Now, when we got independence, then the Ministry of Health in 2013 decided that we need to have one community health program. We need to bring all these different community cadres together. and that is where the Boma Health Initiative was initiated. The name Boma Health Initiative came from the vision of our late Dr. John Garang when he said, take towns to the villages, and the lowest administrative unit in the village is the Boma. So the Boma Health Initiative was launched on the 30th of March 2017 during the Third Health Summit, which was conducted in Juba. The vision of the Boma Health Initiative is to improve service delivery at the Boma and the household level, to reduce the cost and access and accelerate efforts towards achieving universal health coverage. Now, the Boma Health Initiative is the entry point to all community health programs. Now we still have the different community health workers. Because of that, the Ministry of Health, with support from UNICEF, came up with the integration strategy, which was signed off in June, on the 25th of June 2025, meaning that all the different community health programs, which we refer to them here as community-based networks, they have to be integrated all into the Boma Health Initiative, because the Boma Health Initiative is the umbrella of the community health program and it is the entry point. So this is what we mean by Boma Health Initiative and the integration program.
Well, now, what is the intention of Ministry of Health in partnership with UNICEF for integrating these two important bodies who are equally providing services, medical services, to the population?
Yes, the importance of the integration is to reduce fragmentation. You see, we have nutrition volunteers, we have mother-to-mother support groups, we have all the different community networks I mentioned earlier. So there's fragmentation of service, there's duplication of service, and there is waste of resources, because there will be one community health worker who will be serving two different titles. Again, one of the importance of integrating is to improve access, availability, and the quality of service. Thirdly, it is to standardize the delivery of services, because there will be one recruitment criteria, there will be integrated supportive supervision, and there will be an integrated training manual, and there will be career progression, because now this is the only community health program. So there will be more benefit to the community in terms of better use of resources and value for money. Yes.
The intention is to have that better use of resources and money. But you earlier on said there is a bit of fragmentation of service delivery. My grandma, who is also deep in the village, listening to this program currently, would not even understand what is this fragmentation. What have Ministry of Health and UNICEF identify in this scenario?
Okay, let me catalyze the fragmentation further. Earlier I mentioned that we have community nutrition volunteers focusing on nutrition. We have the integrated community mobilization network focusing on community mobilization and demand generation. We have the Boma Health Initiative, who are also dealing with the demand generation, mobilization, and the treatment of children under 5. We also have the community-based drug distributors, who are particularly providing treatment for neglected tropical diseases. So you find that one community health worker or one community health network only focuses on a particular element or particular area and leaving the rest. So you find that when they go to the community, Right now, a CNV, Community Nutrition Volunteer, arrived. In the next 5 minutes or 15 minutes, another community health worker arrived. Again, so it is a burden to the community because they are flooding the same family, the same people, the same message. Now, if we integrate, this one person who is the Boma Health Initiative will come and will do awareness. He will come, he will assess the child. If the child is not vaccinated, he will check the vaccination card and refer the child for vaccination. If the child is malnourished, he will refer the child for nutrition supplements. If the child has got signs of neglected diseases like river blindness, trachoma, and so forth, he will also refer the child to get the appropriate help. So you find that one person is able to manage the different health problems in that particular community, and that person will be trusted by the community because they know that that is the only person who know their problem and can easily address their problem. Otherwise, different people coming to the same home brings in suspicion, brings in fear, and the family members can hardly open up to this person. So that is the benefit of integration.
Mr. Okello, before we talked about the benefit of this integration to the communities or family members, let's briefly talk about the integration process. How far, what's the status of this integration? Because I would like us to move together with our listeners. Is it started? Where exactly? And we have 10 states plus 3 administrative areas in South Sudan. Is it a nationwide initiative or what?
Yes. The integration, as I said before, it has been endorsed, it has been signed off by the Honorable Minister on the 25th of June 2025. Now, before the implementation could kick off, UNICEF implemented a pilot project in Lake State, in 2 bomas of Lake State, that is in Wulu Gedim Boma, in Wulu County, in Wulu Boma, and in Nyankot Boma, in Matangai Payam, in Rumbek Center. So the pilot was implemented together with the development of the strategy. The intention of the pilot is to inform the development of the strategy and also to see the feasibility, whether integration is feasible or not.
And how was it?
So the 6 months pilot project has proven that integration is feasible because in Nyankot Boma, in Nyankot PSCC, many mothers were able to turn up for ANC services. Many mothers were able to turn up for health facility delivery because the Boma health workers that were integrated, which includes the community nutrition volunteers, include Red Cross volunteers, were able to move door to door and provide awareness and refer the children under 5, the mothers, the pregnant mothers, the expectant mothers to the facility. So it improved the ANC coverage and also facility delivery in Matangai Payam, and particularly in Nyankot Boma, in Nyankot PSCC. In Wulu, we find that the number of dropout, these are children who have not completed their doses of vaccines. They were supposed to get 3 doses, 4 doses, but you find that the child only got 1 dose, and the child dropped out either because he is transferred to another area or because he does not know that he is supposed to complete. And then there are also missed opportunities where the child was not able to complete their doses. And then there are also instances where children have not received any vaccine. Children under 5 received no vaccine completely when they are eligible for vaccines. So in Wulu Gedim, the dropout rate reduced to 0 because the Boma health workers were able to go house to house. They will check the vaccination card of the mother, and then if the child is not vaccinated, if the child has not finished the doses, they are referred. Those who have not finished, they get the subsequent doses. Those who have not received any dose, they are automatically enrolled and they start their first dose. And there is a follow-up continuously to see that the child is taken for the next dose until they finish. So the results in the two Bomas, Wulu Gedim Boma and the Nyankod Boma, were so promising.
All right.
And that is why we now want to roll this integration further to many other Bomas, counties, and probably country-wide.
Thank you, Mr. Okello. Let's now talk about, someone would say having all these community mobilizers, having all these health workers together can also help, communities and family members access medical services, now reducing it, integrating it. At the end of the day, we have also report of that's a technical know-who. You end up employing specific individuals that you know or your relative, and at the end this person might be lazy and children will end up missing out their doses or vaccines. Don't you think here there's going to be really a gap of service delivery?
Yes, these are some of the concerns that are coming up from different people in the community, and I want to say that integration will not create any other gap. Instead, integration will harmonize the different community structures together. Integration will harmonize the different community networks together. Now you find that when we integrate, believe me, as I said earlier, there will be one person going to the community, to the household, who is the Boma health worker. Now, during the integration, we are going to ensure that standard service is provided. During the integration, we are also going to ensure that there is a standard training manual, career progression, which is being followed. Now, the Boma health worker will know what to deliver. There will be no difference in communication. Now, another important area is that services like vitamin A, deworming, mosquito nets, and many others will all go together as a package, which reduces the cost, which reduces the time spent, which improves the value for money. Now, you will also find that there will also be one integrated budget, one integrated plan, so you will find services will be delivered effectively and efficiently. Now, one important thing to note is that when we are integrating, we are not going to bring the community nutrition volunteer, just bring them in. We are not going to bring the ICMN, that is the Integrated Community Mobilization Network, just bring them in. They will be screened through an appropriate process.
And once if that screening is done, what will the fate of those who will fail the screen be?
Yes. In any integration, there is always the chance for some people to be absorbed, the chance for other people to be left out. Those who are left out are those who have not met the screening criteria. One, they are beyond the age that is required for Boma health worker. they are below the age required for a Boma health worker. They have not met the education level, the basic primary level. So they will be screened based on those criteria. Now,
is there a specific maybe committee that will handle this for transparency and accountability purpose?
Yes. For the Boma health workers, we have the Boma Health Committee. The Boma Health Committee is responsible to identify the Boma health workers. And a Boma health worker must be somebody who can read and write, who have completed basic primary level education, who is aged between 20 to 35, who has got some little knowledge on health, education and awareness. Now, the Boma health worker also has to be somebody who is known by the community, ready to stay in the community for some period of time, as at least 3 years, and somebody who is having a good record in the community, not known for criminal activities. So the Boma Health Committee is responsible for the recruitment of the Boma health workers. In this integration, there will also be a specialized committee that will look at the criteria for selection, criteria for recruitment of the other community networks into the Boma Health Initiative. One important point is to ensure that we avoid so many Boma health workers coming from the same Boma, because this has been some of the things happening in the current Boma Health Initiative, where you find that in one Boma you have more than 10 Boma health workers. Now, one Boma health worker is responsible for 40 households. Now, if you have more than 10 Boma health workers in one Boma, does it mean that in that Boma there are about 400 households? Certainly not. This means that some Boma health workers are only taking care of maybe 3 or 4 households, which is below what they are supposed to do. So in this integration, we are going to check and ensure that there is equitable distribution of the Boma health workers.
Well, Mr. Okello, there are individuals who have really sacrificed their time, energy to provide health services to their community. Now, will this is screening also coming in? Will, in case if someone fail, will there be a compensation, مثلا like package of appreciation for those who will fail the screening process for the integration?
Well, as far as the person qualifies, he or she will obviously be selected.
How about those who work for many years and fail at the end of the day to qualify?
Now, for those who have worked for many years and they fail to qualify, initially they have been working as volunteers, or they have been working under a particular project and the project might have ended. So I can say that as of now, there is no any compensation to be provided for those who may be screened out. But in case the government solicits some resources, that will be something that will be handled by the respective directorates and the departments in the Ministry of Health accordingly. But at this point, I will certainly say no.
From your speech, Mr. Okello, it sounds clearly that this integration process needs also the support of the community members. Now, how can they get in and support the integration process?
The community gets in the sense that the integration is a government program, and the government at the community level, the chiefs, the Boma administrators, the Payama administrators up to the national level are involved in this integration process. So how they can come in, this is the forum where we have started. We first start by sensitizing the community about the integration. Why are we integrating? First of all, we start by telling them the Boma Health Initiative. And we are telling them about the different fragmentation, the benefits of the Boma Health Initiative and the effects of having fragmented community health programs. Then we move in to tell them the benefit of integration and why we want them as community stakeholders to be involved in the integration. So as we are moving towards the launch of the Boma Health Initiative, one of the key roles is the awareness of the community, which we have started, which will trickle down up to the grassroots, such that by the time the launch of the strategy will be done next month, then we will move on immediately to implement the integration. It's a process. It cannot be completed overnight. But probably after 2-3 years, the whole country will be under the Boma Health Initiative.
Was there any visibility studies carried out to identify whether this integration initiative is really sustainable?
Yes. There are various studies that have been conducted in different countries globally, which has shown that integration at the health services, at the health facility, first of all, integrating services in the health facility like immunization and nutrition, integrating OPD out of the inpatient department and outpatient department has been feasible. Now, there are also studies which have shown that integration of the different community networks like community nutrition volunteers into the BHI, like the community-based drug distributors into the BHI has been feasible. So in other countries, these studies have been done. In South Sudan, these studies have not been done because we are still starting it. But we have learned from other countries that it is feasible to integrate, it is possible to integrate, and it is possible to sustain because we are anchoring on the existing community structures. We are also anchoring on the community support because the Boma health worker is from the community, he lives in the community, and he works for the community. So there will also be community support, whether in kind or financially, which will be able to sustain the Boma health workers in case there are no donor funding, because right now the Boma health workers are paid like $50. This comes as incentive from the government, and the Boma health workers are enrolled into the government payroll. So despite the delay in the government salary, it will still be sustainable because they are part of the community and they work for the community. So the community will have some kind of systems in place. How can we support our own Boma health workers as they serve us?
Mr. Okello, from your explanation, it sounds like the primary objective of this integration is to reduce the fragmentation of services. Now, you are also providing a technical support to the Ministry of Health. In a long-term plan, what is this integration really trying to achieve? Ministry of Health and UNICEF, what are you trying to achieve in a long run?
Okay, in the long run, we are trying to improve service delivery in terms of availability of service, in terms of access to service, in terms of accountability of the health workers and the Boma health workers to the community, and in terms of efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery. So we want want a South Sudan where tomorrow you just wake up, the next door is a Boma health worker who gives you advice, gives you services, and you don't need to waste a lot of money to go a long way to a healthy facility to get treatment. So you can easily get services, and that is where we are saying we are striving towards universal health coverage, which means that a community member, an individual, can get the service he or she need at the best quality possible with a minimal cost, which will not lead to financial burden. This is where we are moving towards.
Now, during this integration process, what kind of support will UNICEF provide to the Ministry of Health?
The kind of support UNICEF will be providing to the Ministry of Health is technical support in terms of providing awareness. First of all, we are starting with the national launch, and then after the national launch, we are moving to the subnational dissemination of the strategy at state, county, Payama and Boma levels, and then we are also going to, UNICEF is also going to support in terms of providing the trainings and providing the work tools for the Boma health workers.
Work tools like?
Work tools, there is a bag where they put all their books, they put their drugs, they have gumboots, they have torches, they have raincoat, they have umbrella, things that make them able to deliver their services. So UNICEF will be able to provide these resources depending on the availability of funds from other donors that we will secure, and UNICEF will also be able to advocate for more resources from the government and more resources from other donors if the integration is moving in a better phase, and if it is showing a very good progress. UNICEF will work harder to mobilize other resources through also advocating for other donor agencies to come in.
Now, with these global financial shocks and the integration process, again, support of UNICEF depends on the international support in a situation where there is no money. What other alternative plan is UNICEF having to continue supporting the Ministry of Health?
Currently, UNICEF is in engagement with the ministry to mobilize domestic resources, to put in additional domestic resources. This being a government program, the government has already contributed the resources to pay the salaries for the Boma health workers, and that is why the Boma health workers are in the government payroll. Now, UNICEF and also other partners are working harder to see that the government also mobilize additional resources to sustain the Boma health initiative. Now, with the current financial resources, which is touching everyone, the government, the donors, the partners, we are going to see to it that as the Boma health worker is being implemented, we are also going to see, as we dialogue with the community, what other community support is available to sustain the Boma health workers. In countries like South Africa, we find that the Boma health workers have some kind of roska, sanduk, where they come in, they have a sanduk, and at the end of the year they open it, and that money is used as a revolving loan for them.
From the common pool?
Yes, from the common pool. In South Africa, they were able to buy even a bus for themselves, and this bus is hired. And in Rwanda, the government of Rwanda has been able to provide seed money for the Boma health workers. They form the Boma health workers as a group. They give them seed money. They open up cooperatives. They open up businesses, and those cooperatives are able to sustain the Boma health workers.
You talked of local resource mobilization. Now, in a situation where some of the civil servants are not paid, for instance, in South Sudan, and some of the citizens are not also paying taxes, how is UNICEF mobilizing some of these local resources, and from where exactly?
UNICEF will not be directly responsible to mobilize local resources, but UNICEF advocates to the government to be able to mobilize local resources. The local resources, as you know, our country, we have taxes at the subnational level. A portion of those taxes can be allocated to support the community health programs. You can agree with me that in some of the counties we have minerals, we have honey, we have trees and so forth. So part of the revenue generated from this can be used to support the community health programs.
Mr. Okello, two more quick questions before we give chance to our patient audience. What impact do you think or expect this will have on mental health, immunization, and nutrition in the coming month?
In the coming months, we expect that if the integration is implemented properly, the way it's expected, there will be an improvement in the immunization coverage. There will be an increase in the number of children that are vaccinated, children that are able to complete their doses. There will be a significant dropout in the zero dose. Zero dose are children who have not got any vaccine. There will also be an improvement in the nutrition status of our children, because they will be advised, they will be sensitized on how to provide better nutrition, domestic food preparations, and so forth. In terms of mental health, there will be awareness and sensitization on healthy living, on how to address some of the issues that are affecting our adolescents, our young adults, which are making them engaging into antisocial behaviors. So we see that there will be a better improvement if the integration is implemented in the best possible way.
Earlier on, you talked about that's raising awareness, more especially to the public or community members. Now, how will radio programs help build this trust?
One of the accessible media is the radio. iMedia, for example, has about 25 radio stations that are being supported. So this message now will be played and it will be heard by the different radio stations and the different community members. Again, apart from the radio, there will be community feedbacks. After getting the views of the community, we will also be able to provide community feedback through the radio, through available channels like community meetings, through the church programs. So we'll be able to trickle down the information. And again, we are going down to the grassroots by conducting dissemination at the state, at the county. So this will be in addition to the radio awareness. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okello. Dear listener, if in case you have just joined us, you're listening to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James, and we are talking about the integration of a community-based network into the Boma Health Initiative. The purpose of this is to address fragmentation and improve efficiency. The Ministry of Health, with support from UNICEF and partners, developed this strategy to integrate this network into the Boma Health Initiative. And my guest in the studio is Mr. Okello David, a social and behavior change consultant, providing technical support to the Ministry of Health. If you have a question or comment regarding that our talking point after this break, do not hesitate to reach us.
For news and the music, keep it iRadio.
For South Sudan's voice of hope to continue shining, we need your support. iRadio has transformed despair into policy change, fear into resilience, and silence into vital dialogue.
The day that we join the world.
But sustaining these vital voices requires resources, commitment, and shared vision. We call on well-wishers and all people of goodwill. Stand with us, support iRadio's journey to remain independent, credible, and impactful. Invest in the power of free speech. Invest in hope. Invest in South Sudan's future. Join us today because together we are stronger. Together we can keep the voice of a nation alive.
It's a Baghdad Diamond Wenisuma iRadio ala nimrata telefon 0911-986-986 au itapi reselu risala ala nimra 0913-986-986.
Welcome back from that break. Right about now, it's your chance, dear patient audience, to raise your concern or question to my guest in the studio. First caller, iRadio.
Lino.
Yes, sir. Joseph.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. And good evening to that guest in the studio.
Yeah, Mr. Okelo.
Behind me to the
Now.
studio also.
Now.
My brother will comment. Mine will be comment. What my brother saying, that is what contained in word of the movement said by Lady John. Take down to the people. People are bombers. In particular, grassroots area, you go to the town of the people, you must make a charity there, make a health initiative. Children are being vaccinated there. Treatment is available. Road is there. And all these things, if they are not there, I don't think my brother talk about the National Ministry of Health. He's always visit bombers. I didn't hear that minister went to one of the bombers one day and initiated that the work of the health workers. We are aware that the health workers in that state level are not being paid, and that health initiative in bombers are still operating. So that one is not if the national ministry is still supporting you or not, because right now there is a differences within the state ministries, even with the national government. They don't go and support the health initiative in the grassroots. So our differences here with the current leadership, it is because what was said and what was a root cause. The root cause for the movement has not been done today, because we have that bombers at the beginning of the government. And it is where there is majority of the people. And people run now to Juba, many people run to the state headquarters because of no services in the grassroots, no even ambulance. Land Cruiser ambulance is supposed to be in Buma. Any Buma which is base initiative is supposed to have that ambulance, which is Land Cruiser ambulance, to move a pregnant woman when there is a difficulties in delivery. But all these things are there. What should be done? It is the community which is based in that Buma to do that, or the National Ministry of Health, or the partners. I think partners are part of the operation when the government is doing is duty. But if government is not doing duty, I do not know that the community will contribute for the health workers to operate in that level. So let them work hard for their own, because they are there elected by their government here, which is supposed to give them keep them operational in terms of the services, in terms of their welfare as the workers in the grassroots. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph, for sharing your comment with us, and I will equally give chance to Mr. Okello to respond to that your concern raised so far. But before I do that, we have got a couple of your messages via our Facebook page. One is coming in from W. Christopher George. He's saying, "Hello, Madrama James. I'm watching the show live from Western Equatoria State, Yambio." Then Barnaba Dal joins us live from Warabi State, that is in Kwajok Town. Thank you very much. So over to you, Mr. Okello. What do you have to say in regards to the comment coming in from Joseph here in Munuki?
Yeah, thank you. Regarding the comment from Joseph, I do understand that there are levels of authority. From the Boma, we have the Boma Health Committee, we have the PAYAM, we have the County Health Department, and we have the State Ministry of Health. So normally the Minister of Health at the national and at the state level go down to the grassroots. And when they go down to the state and to the counties, they discuss issues with their respective counterparts. Now, it is at that point where the county health department, the PAYAM health department, the state minister brings up these issues. I acknowledge what Joseph said, and this is a growing process. During the liberation, we have not moved this far, but now I see there's light, and probably we will be able to address all the issues at the Boma level together with our partners, because our partners are supporting the government, both are working together to improve the service delivery. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okello. Then again, Joseph also talked about lack of that is service delivery in the rural areas. You are equally providing a technical support to the Ministry of Health. How are you again working closely to make sure that services are adequately provided to the communities in rural areas?
Yeah, thank you. You have put it right. There is no lack of service, but we can say the service is available, but the service is inadequate because not all Bomas are reached with services. So one of the approach is the Boma Health Initiative, because the Boma Health Initiative ensures that every Boma has got Boma health workers and Boma health services are being delivered. So to reach every Boma, what we ensure is that we do proper mapping of the Bomas to identify which Boma has got Boma health workers, which Boma has got the other community networks, and which Boma is having no Boma health workers, no other community health networks, and no health services being delivered. Now, after knowing this, then we will take the appropriate measures through the support of the government at the national, at the state, and at the local level to ensure that services are provided to all the households at the different levels. Despite the challenges that we have with funding, inadequate resources, I'm convinced that the government, through the partners, will be able to improve delivery of the services, and gradually all Bomas, all individuals, all households will be able to access.
All right. I would love to take more of your calls and read more of your text messages, but time is not again our best friend right here. So, Mr. Okello, finally, as we are coming also to the end of our conversation, what's your message to our audience in regards to the integration process to make sure that no child, mother, or any individual left behind in terms of health services in the country?
My message to the viewers and the listeners out there is that the Ministry of Health, with support from UNICEF and other partners, is moving on to implement an integration strategy. The integration strategy brings all the different networks together under the Boma Health Initiative. Well, there is a process of how we will do the integration. And the integration is going to benefit all our people in the grassroots to ensure that services is accessible, services is available, and the service of better quality is provided to our people in the community.
All right.
So we also seek the support of the community in this integration so that we are able to work together and serve our people of South Sudan.
Mr. Okello David, thank you very much for coming. We look forward to have you here once again, since we will have this conversation different interval of times for a period of 2 months. Dear listen up to here, we have come to the end of our conversation focusing on integration of community-based network into the Boma Health Initiative. I've been your host, Madrama James. Big thanks to Obachokusha Gawa, the producer of a Sundown show, and Darlington Moses for being behind the social media coverage. Up next is news headlines in Arabic and English